Nicholas Batum is quickly becoming one of my
I
favorite
love
players,
him.
like across the. I was sent a text to Nick last night where I said that I think Nick Batum might be my third favorite player on the Sixers right now. That I think B-Ball Paul might have been leaped by Nick
Ooh.
Batum in my mind. It might go Embiid, Maxey, and Nick Batum as far as how much he's just perfect as like a such a high IQ player, such a great connector. How do you feel about Nick Batum?
Yeah, Nico, dude, I love him. I actually, so to kind of go from the beginning, I had and not, I don't want to say an argument, but a small disagreement with somebody at work because when they made the trade, he was like, I hate Nick Batum. He's the worst. And I was like, you don't know nothing about Nick Batum, man. You don't know anything about this guy. He does all the small things well. He's such a good defender, so
Yeah.
smart. Even though he's lost his step athletically, he's always in the right spot. Like I almost put it as like offensively, you remember when like Danny Green just always found himself in the correct spot to catch and shoot. That feels like what Nick Batum is
Mhm.
offensively, but he has the passing ability, the ball handling ability, and like the movement shooting that our other shooters have not really had. Um, and then, like I said, defensively, he's big. He's got long arms. He got quick hands. He's smart. He's chased down blocked a couple of times. Like he just knows where to be. And those guys are so valuable, especially for a guy in his role where he's not getting the ball very often. You got to make the most of his opportunities. He had the quick release, like up at his head, catch and shoot, didn't dip at all. I love to see that, dude. It's
Yeah.
just like little stuff like that just makes me happy. I'm watching those games and I'm like pointing out to my roommates and they don't give a shit. They're like, okay, yeah, man. I'm like, did you see it? Did you see he did the no dip jumper? And they don't care. But I love it. And he's been super fun to watch. And I think that he helps in those moments as well. Like Maxey and Embiid, obviously they can kick it to him and he'll make the right decision when these guys are getting doubled or the play gets clogged up. He knows the right thing to do. And it's proven in that it's only taken him 2 or 3 games to like get in a full rhythm with this team. It looks like he's been playing with them for years. And that's a really, really tough thing to do, especially at the professional level. So
Mhm.
shout out to Nick Batum. I think he's been awesome and probably like the biggest chip in that trade.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's in the starting spot for the long term. That I don't see the
Yeah.
Sixers moving out of this role. I think he's perfect. And you kind of touched on it a little bit. I think he's like the best versions of like a lot of fan favorites when we talk about the PJ Tucker, the Georges Niang, Danny Green. He's like the right combination of all those kind of guys.
Yeah.
And defensively, he started the game on Tyrese Halliburton yesterday, and I did think like his size bothered him a little bit, and Batum seemed to take that personally. That's going to be kind of the question. That's still my biggest concern with the Sixers team, and we'll kind of shift gears and talk a little bit about kind of expectations or what this team is still missing, if anything. But Batum might be the guy that's asked to guard number ones right now. It's going to be Batum or Tobias Harris. D'Anthony Melton, actually, we'll touch on him a little bit too, because that's probably the lone dark spot right now. But as far as Batum as a whole, I'm comfortable knowing like he can have as big or as small of a role on a night to night basis. Like I do think we're gonna have a couple random games where Batum's a 20-point scorer this year, and I still
Yep.
think that there's gonna be games where he like doesn't really touch the rock at all, but he still makes his impact. He's always in the right spot. I do love that we got the no dip jumper, the quickest
Yep.
release of it. I think it is the quickest release of anybody in the NBA. And
It's up
they're
there.
like, I remember him hitting one against the Sixers a couple years ago that like I didn't even think he caught the ball. It was like in and out before like anything. But yeah, it's awesome to have that on our side. And it feels like he's buying in a little too. Like he was obviously not thrilled to be traded. I get it. He sounds like he's not even committed to being retired at the end of this year, which I
No.
thought was the case. And he shouldn't. Like he has life left in his legs. His body is not. It wouldn't be a retirement by I can't play anymore. It would be by I don't want to, which doesn't happen for a lot of guys. So I hope he sticks around. I'm a big fan of Nick Batum, but